Okay. Little minor emergency issues here. We're all good. Let's go.
Live from the BiffNet Studios World Headquarters in Spring, Texas, it's Barry on Deck, hosted by former ESPN Houston radio host and stand-up comedian Barry Laminack, starring Oliver the Cat. Written by Barry Laminack, produced by Barry Laminack, directed by, you guessed it, Barry Laminack, featuring sports, entertainment, special guests, film sessions, and some drinking. Okay, a lot of drinking. Viewer discretion is advised. And now, here's your host, Barry Laminack.
What's up, you damn dirty deckheads? Welcome to Barry on Deck. I am your host, Barry Laminack. Thank you guys for being here. Today is Monday, August 30th, 2021, and this is episode number 322 of Barry on Deck. As always, Barry on Deck brought to you by the AP Law Group. If you have been injured in an accident, do not get bullied by these insurance companies out here. They are crazy people. Get the AP Law Group on your side. 713-913-GO-AP or log on to aplawgroup.com. Hey, I owe you all an apology. I'm sorry. Well, it kind of was my fault. Kind of not. Normally, I'm 5 minutes late. That's just in fact, when I do the YouTube channel, sorry, my nose is itchy. You bitches were talking bad about me. I can tell already. All right. Normally, I'm 5 minutes late-ish, 5, 7, 4, 2, just depends. And even when I start this, like when I set up the YouTube show, it says, do you want to start at 2, 2:05, 2:10? I'm always like 2. And my mind is like, you should pick 2:05. But my heart is like, no, the show starts at 2. So I normally start at 2:05. Today, though, as I'm brushing my teeth at 1:59, I don't know why, by the way, I brush my teeth for this show. I brush my teeth at the weirdest times. I brush my teeth to go jogging, to work out, and to do this show. That's the God's honest truth. I mean, I brush my teeth other times. I brush them in the morning and I brush them at night as well. But for some reason, I can't do this show without brushing my teeth. And I won't go exercise or go running, go for a walk. I won't go jogging. For some reason, I have to brush my teeth. So I'm brushing my teeth at 1:59. I get done. I'm all right, cool. It's 2:04. I'm a little late, but I'm good. I'm good. Hey, get out of the box! Love you. And as I'm walking out of the bedroom to come in to do the show, these cats are going to drive me nuts. Oliver, oh, y'all want to see my smile? I need to whiten my teeth again. It's time. I need to do the backs, though. The backs are yellow compared. They never let you whiten the front, but the backs are like really yellow compared to the front. I need to get them all whitened again. Anyways, squirrel. Get out the box. Anyways, so I'm walking out of the bedroom and I see that Oliver, love you. Oliver is doing something. He's in the corner and he's going crazy. Now, he's been having these fits lately where I think he's got allergies, so we've been having to give him a little bit of children's Benadryl to calm him down. And I'm like, what is happening? Like he's freaking out. And I'm like, buddy, what are you doing? What are you doing? Buddy, you okay? And he looks up and he's got the tail of a lizard hanging out of his mouth. What? Now this is normal and appropriate cat behavior. I'm just checking on him because, this is super bad for cats, though, to eat lizards. Apparently, I guess that when cats eat, they can get like salmonella from these lizards or whatever. So I'm like, oh, hell no. So at first I got to catch him because then I see it and I'm like, oh, come here, buddy. And he's like, you're not getting my prize. And he takes off running with a fucking lizard in his mouth. Excuse my language. And I'm like, no, you can't. You can't. Come here, buddy. And I'm trying to like, come on, buddy. Come see daddy. Please don't swallow that. Oh, my God. Just give me the lizard. I catch him. He still has the lizard in his mouth. And I basically... I'm not choking him, but I'm trying not to let him swallow. And he's all, and he's fighting. And then finally he goes, and the fucking lizard comes out. And I didn't like choke him, but I was just like putting pressure on his neck so that he wouldn't swallow, that his instinct wasn't to swallow. And you could still see a little bit of the tail. I caught him. I got the lizard. It wasn't in good shape. I just threw him out in the yard. I know some of you are like, that's so mean. Fuck that lizard. It was going to kill my cat. And then I didn't know what to do. And I remembered I just brushed my teeth. So I might have brushed Oliver's teeth and mouth. I didn't know what else to do. I didn't know what else to do to get the lizard juice out of his mouth. So I brushed his teeth with Nora's toothbrush. No, I'm just kidding. I used mine. I'm throwing it away. I'm going to get a new one. But I didn't put any like toothpaste on it. I just like scrubbed it a little bit, which by the way was a lot harder than actually getting a lizard out of his mouth. He was definitely not thrilled about having his teeth brushed or his tongue. So there you go. Rob said, Philip, I don't know why I always say Rob, because I see the heart throb. Philip said I was half right. Oliver was to blame. Yeah, little bit. So, and I like how the chat is all of a sudden goddamn animal experts. Well, feral cats will eat worse. And I've had 98 cats eat 1,000 lizards and never one of them. How do you know? Okay? I care about my cat, and I didn't want him to die. Thank you, Justin Swinford. Thank you. Well, and the rest of you can suck it. You don't care about your cats. You just, if they get salmonella and die, I guess you don't give a shit. Shoot. Friendly radio. Okay. We're radio. This show is radio friendly. Just ignore this part that says fuck the Texans on it. As Matt so eloquently pointed out, excuse my language, as he wears fucks the Texans. Well, I'm not saying it. Okay, I kind of am. Hey, before we get into the show, and we do have I literally had to. Okay, why are you collapsing on me here? I literally had to scour for non-sports. Everything I had was sportsy related stuff. So I'm looking for non-sports stuff. Hey, Chuck, welcome to the show. Long time no see, but okay. I can't say that I missed comments like that. But before we do any of that, let's get to the greatest decade in the history of the world, as we always do, and it is none other than Shelbsters in the building. Shelby was first in the chat. Shelby with the first like. Shelby with the first super chat. Jeff Bell, if you're listening, if you're watching, put her down, which I know you are because you're second. Put her down for a triple crown. My girl Shelbsters all up in y'all's mix trying to get the flavor. Let's go. Josh was third. Keith was fourth. Terrence was fifth. I don't think I thanked Keith the other day for his $5 Friday, buddy, but I do appreciate you, Keith, more than you know. A lot of folks got here early. I'm here for it. I would say what's up to the chat, but some of y'all are acting a damn fool. But I appreciate everybody getting here early, man. We do have a lot to discuss. It's the NFL football preseason is over with, so we can talk about your favorite team if you want to. We got a week off. And then week one starts. And then what do? We're going to talk Texans and Deshaun Watson. And I mean, my anger at the rest of the world trying to act like that Deshaun Watson to Miami is a new thing when your boy told you about it in February. That's right. February. I tweeted about it. I think Tony was one of the plethora of people that made fun of me. Oh, imagine that. Athlete goes to Miami in the winter. Ha ha. Oh, I'm so surprised. Where you at now, bitch? Where you at now? Who's the smart one now, Tony? Who's breaking news back in February? I think you forget who my sources are. And if you go and look at some of the other stuff that's been tweeted out, yes, they talked about the fact that he would rather go to Miami than anywhere else. Now, Denver might be on the list and Charlotte on the list and Philly maybe, but he would rather be in Miami than anywhere else. So, you know, your boy Scoops Laminack out here. Just out here breaking news and y'all bitches is just ignoring it like it never happened. Okay? Like it never happened. Something happened over the weekend. Actually, yeah, yesterday. And I think we need to talk about it because I would like I would like you guys to refer to me going forward. Would like you guys to refer to me going forward as the Minister of Laughs. As of yesterday, August 29th, 2021, I, Barry Laminack, shall henceforth be known as Minister Laminack. Based on the letter of good standing and authorization to solemnize marriages provided as henceforth from the United National Ministry. I am the Minister of Laughs, and you will henceforth refer to me as that. Now I like that Reverend House is accusing me of stealing his bit. He's saying I stole his bit, when in fact that is not the case. Let's go back and revisit a couple of things. One, we joked about this on Sports Riot, twitch.tv/Sports Riot Live. And we came up with the hilarious idea that we were going to marry someone at our live show October 6th at the Houston Improv. And then Shelby was like, I'll do it. And we were like, really? And Shock looked it up. And we saw it, and Donna sent $25 to put some stank on it because it was $80 to get this license. So I was like, okay, I guess we're gonna marry Shelby live, and Rafe, whatever his name is, Patrick, Johan, I don't remember his name. It's not important. So we're going to live at the Improv. October 6th. It is official now. I will be marrying Shelby and Robert. Frank. Whatever his name is. It's going down. And Titan Hugo and Erica have said that they will renew their vows during the show as well, which I will be happy to officiate. So that's how it started. Now, I'd like to remind House that I believe it was during this show where we talked about getting a marriage license where he got the idea to do it in the first place. So you don't shit where you eat, House. You were just regular ass, no one gave a fuck House. And it wasn't until we covered it on this show that you became the Reverend Lord Chris Householder III. So, sir, how dare you? How dare you say that I copied you? How dare you? By the way, I'm a minister. Ministers are way better than reverends. In the grand pantheon of religious affiliations and rankings, it goes like altar boy, pastor, reverend, minister. It goes in that order. So, while I respect your the level that you're at, Reverend, you, sir, are no minister. Yeah, and Todd's right. I'm damn near a Cardinal. I mean, I'm pretty much. I might as well be a Cardinal. By the way, one day I'll be a Saint because I managed to bring Todd back to life. So, yeah. From here on out, I would henceforth like you all to refer to me as Minister Laminack, the Minister of Laughs. Yeah, that's what I am. Steve says, but can you do Jewish weddings? That's what I need to know. I mean, I guess. I don't know. I don't know the rules of this. What do I look like, an expert? What the hell do I know? What do you want? What do you want from me? Oh, House was already a lord. Yeah, but no one acknowledged it until you became a man of God. No one gave a shit. What? No one called you Lord House. No one cared. I need verification to become a saint. Do I, D-Mata? Do I need verification? Bam! There's your verification. Todd is alive. He had died. He is back. Now what, bitch? Okay. Got aggressive there. Apologize. Francisco said if white smoke comes from the Laminack backyard, Barry is the new pope. Or I'm burning the hamburgers. I need 2 more miracles. Is it 3 miracles to be a saint? All right. Well, next time the show starts at 2:00, there's miracle number 2. Next time the show starts on time, put me down for miracle number 2. Okay? No, Todd is not Jesus. I revived. Todd didn't come back 3 days later. Todd's only alive because of me. Okay? Oh, it's 2? Oh, there you go. 2 verified miracles. Well, we see Todd in chat. There's 1. Tomorrow. Yeah, I saved my cat. I fished a lizard out of his mouth and got him to be still enough to brush his teeth. I think that's a miracle in and of itself. Wouldn't you? God damn. Cece said if I can get a house a date, that'll be my 3rd miracle. Hey, listen, I don't even think if Jesus came back right now, he could help House with that. I don't think so. Go check on that lizard. If he's alive, bam, miracle number 2. Oh, that's a good point. Hey, speaking of Richard Vales, what's up, buddy? You might see over here, let me switch to flex cam real fast. And we're going to get to the sports, I promise. Everybody calm down. Everybody chillax. We've got plenty of sports to discuss. We're going to talk NFL, all your fave teams. But let me just turn on flex cam here for a momento. Uno momento. I'm trying, hold on. Why does this look like this? Why can I never, ever? Like the light on this cam sucks for some reason. Oh, well, you're going to get flex cam like this. It's just how it's going to look. Here's flex cam. See these right here? You see that? Sending out more coffee mugs. So what happened over the weekend, Daddy painted the back porch, which is not a euphemism as we discussed on the Sports Riot. But while I was painting the back porch for 9+ hours, Nora was sweet enough to surprise me. So I had all the coffee cups. I have all the boxes. I just needed to sit down and put the mugs, as you can see. You got to put the mug in there, and then you got to surround it with the packing paper so that it doesn't get broken, because these boxes are supposed to be indestructible. But as you saw on my TikTok, they're not. And you got to make these boxes. They come flat. So you got to put the box together, get the mugs, put it in, stuff the paper. She did all 80 coffee mugs while I was out working on the back porch. So if you get your coffee mugs in a timely manner now, you can thank Nora for that. She's the one that did it. Now all I have to do is sit down and print the numbers. Like this one is for Fidel. So this is Fidel's coffee mug. I have Richard Vales in here, Francisco. You'll probably get an email. So yeah, that's what that. But let's all give it up for Nora, the real MVP of Barry on Deck. That's correct, Marsha. She boxed up. I'm not shitting you. How many is this? This is what? 2, 4, 6, 8. 8. This is like 25. She boxed up about 80 of these bad boys. So that's where we're at. I'll get those out this week, and they'll be coming from Barry Laminack, not the Minister Laminack, but I'll probably have that changed to Minister Laminack on there. All right, let's get to the sports. Let's talk some sports before some of you leave because you can't stand to go without sports for more than 5 minutes. Here's your sports headlines for the day. Texans have sent Shaq Lawson to the Jets for a 6th-round pick. Oh, Shaq, it's like we barely knew you. Underwhelming performance by Lawson while he was a Texan and even before. Jets were in desperate need of some pass rushing help, so the Texans were able to parlay a 6th-round pick out of it. Now, I know some of you might be like, oh, well, that's stupid. They gave up. Like, look, they were probably going to end up cutting this dude, or he was going to be a backup. So at least you got something for the guy, as opposed to just cutting him like Bill O'Brien probably would have done. Texans have also shifted Titus Howard to left guard. Left side of that line now looks pretty good out there protecting Tyrod Taylor. Bad news for Ravens fans and fantasy owners. J.K. Dobbins, whom a lot of people expected to do some pretty big things. I heard comparisons to Nick Chubb and possibly being the best running back in football soon. Not now, but making his way to that, especially when the Ravens were going to be relying heavily on a run game of Dobbins and Lamar Jackson. Dobbins done for the season with a torn ACL. You hate to see it. You hate to hear it. I talked about it this weekend. I did radio on ESPN 97.5 Sunday morning from 8 to 10 for Houston Sports Show, which, by the way, that might become a recurring thing. So if you're up early in the mornings on Sundays from 8 to 10, your boy, I'm not saying it's a full-time thing, but Jerome asked me, hey, man, maybe you can do that a lot more. So it might be a semi-full-time thing on Sundays that I'll be doing Houston Sports Show radio along with Holly and Rachel. So if you're bored on a Sunday morning, tune in for that. And then you can just stay tuned because then I'm hopping over to Sports Ride and we're going to take you to kickoff from 10 to noon. All right, programming alert. Nonetheless, we were talking about this, and what I didn't understand about that whole sequence of events with Dobbins and the Ravens, and I think Harbaugh should probably get in a little trouble for this, but they were out there first series and Lamar Jackson gets sacked, and it was kind of an ugly tackle. I mean, his knee was bent, a little awkward. I thought he might get up hurt. It didn't happen. He just gets up, walks back to the huddle, and I'm like, well, surely they're going to pull him out because this O-line is not holding up very well at all. Nope. Instead, a play or two later, they run to Dobbins to the left, and he goes down in a heap, grabs his ACL. He's hurt now. They cart him off the field or walk him off the field. He needs help getting off the field, obviously. Maybe the next play or 2 plays later, Lamar Jackson gets sacked again. So instead of taking Jackson out at that moment and saying, all right, screw this, I'm not going to risk anything else, they leave him in for this series. He gets sacked again, and then they pull him. Well, I think you got to be real careful when you see something like that happen. That's an omen. That's a moment where you stop and go, okay, I'm not fading Dobbins and Lamar Jackson in one drive, in one game, in the final preseason game leading up to the regular season. I'd have yanked him, but they had to get one more sack in there before they pulled him, apparently. The Grizzlies have bought out Rajon Rondo, and he is expected now to head back to the Los Angeles Lakers. So the old get older. I mean, what do we expect of this Lakers team with what they're doing? You got Russ and you got Rondo, and I mean, it's a lot of names. I just feel like I know they're chasing the Nets. I get it. They're chasing the Nets from a depth perspective, and some of these cats are probably going to be a flop. I just feel like if you want to get good, but maybe get a little younger at the same time, I feel, and this is just purely speculation on my part, but kind of what happened to the Lakers this year, I feel like they're setting themselves up for it to happen again next year, where they got derailed by injuries for the most part. I feel like that could happen again with this team. I mean, we're going to find out. There's no doubt on paper, based on names and reputation of those names, it's going to be a good basketball team. We'll see how they hold up, though, physically. Also, the Mets have released Josh Reddick. I saw somebody demona. I thought Josh Reddick was good. He was. He was good when he was an Astro. See what happens when they leave? Marwin Gonzalez, cut, traded and cut. Josh Reddick, cut. Colby Rasmus, don't know where he is. I think he's sacking groceries at the Piggly Wiggly. I don't even know if they have those anymore. Yeah. So, lessons learned here. Once you leave the Astros, I'm looking at you, Carlos Correa. The whole thing goes to shit. So good luck, Carlos, in New York or LA or Chicago or wherever you land. I'm not going to say I hope you fail, but I mean, I kind of hope it doesn't go well for him just so he can go. He should have stayed. All right. Let's see. What else we're going to get into? Let's just go ahead and get this out of the way. No, I want to wait. We need to talk Texans and Deshaun Watson and the breaking news in Miami and all that. But I want to take a moment. We've got some sports in. We're going to get to Watson. I know. We're beating a dead horse. Yeah, Richard Vale says, isn't Marwin back with the organization? Signed a minor league deal. And I know a lot of you want to return to the glory days when Marwin Gonzalez really was. They're going to be able to call up a couple more players. He might be that guy. Cool. Please, for the love of everything holy, don't expect Marwin Gonzalez to be 2017 Marwin Gonzalez. That was 4 years ago. He peaked at that moment. The fact that he's been traded and cut since then, and if you look at his numbers, he's not the same player that he was, okay? So I think it's unfair for you to expect that. I think he's back. Let the man be back. If he gets called up and gets to hang out with the boys and be a leader in the clubhouse and all of that stuff. You know, when he was here, I remember specifically that year, I went to a lot of the team games and I wouldn't say covered the Astros, but I was in the locker room a lot that year. And Marwin was really instrumental in helping Jose Altuve take that leap to superstardom because their lockers were next to each other. He would talk to him a lot. People were kind of on Jose at the time because he was in a slump. And I remember Marwin pulling him aside, saying something to him as he was being asked these ridiculous questions from the media, Altuve being asked the questions, and just watching kind of Marwin help him navigate some of this because Jose's kind of a quiet guy. So I think what you get in Marwin, if you bring him back up, you get a poor man's Aledmus Diaz now. You get some, you get a switch hitter that you can substitute if you need to now and then. He can play all the positions. He can fill in for Ghiroli at first. He can play in the infield. He can play the outfield. Don't look for him to DH, but don't look for him to be, what he used to be. But I think he'll be good in the clubhouse. Marwin won't get called up. I mean, I don't know about that. You don't know. I think they do September call-ups differently now, but I don't think they allow you to call up as many players as you used to. I would have to go back and look. But if they still do it, I remember reading something about that, whether it's proposed or passed or whatever. But if they still do it, I could see him coming up for sure in their September call-ups just to be with these guys on the road. I mean, you remember we talk about chemistry in the club. This Astros team, while it's good, they're older, they're more mature. It's kind of boring in the dugout. It's kind of boring in the clubhouse. Remember how fun it was with Springer and Hank Conger doing the Congo bot? Remember how fun all that was? That's kind of gone. I'm not saying Marwin Gonzalez is going to come in and make it fun, but I'm saying that chemistry that exists, everybody's on edge. They know Correa's leaving. Oh, we got to win for Correa, and we're the boo. We get booed, and all this stuff. I mean, Bregman had lost his swagger after the cheating. All that's gone. So I think what the move with Marwin, if he does come up, I think that's more of a, hey, let's work on the chemistry in the clubhouse. And let's see what he can add to that. So I'm not saying he's going to come up and be a contributor or a factor. All right, I want to take a moment, though, before we get into the Texans and Nick Caserio and Brian Flores and the Dolphins and Tua and all of those things. I want to talk position battles at quarterback. We got to talk about Mac Jones in New England and Trey Lance in San Francisco and Justin Fields in Chicago and Davis Mills in God, did you see his numbers? Oh, Jesus. But I want to take a moment in all seriousness and say that my heart goes out to our brothers and sisters in New Orleans and in Louisiana. And I know a lot of you in this chat that support this show and watch this show have family there. I know a lot of you moved here after Katrina. And I saw in the Discord where some of you were talking about emotionally, there's some PTSD involved with that you never really got over it. And I understand that and I sympathize with you. And I want you to know that my heart breaks for the state and for the residents of that state and for the former residents of that state that still have family there. I also want you to know that a couple of the deckheads have reached out to me and said, hey, look, I know we did a fundraiser and some money for a deckhead that was in need, but can we do something for the victims of Ida? And no, not screw Mississippi. That's not the case at all. God, you guys get so fucking emo sometimes. Jesus. Well, do you want me to name the whole fucking Gulf Coast? Hey, sorry to Arkansas and everybody up the eastern seaboard that's going to get some rain. And I farted at my neighbor probably. I think I blew over a petunia he had in his garden. Like, what the fuck, dude? Oh, my God. Nonetheless, before I was rudely interrupted by... A couple of deckheads have reached out and said, hey, we'd like to do something. We'd like to maybe raise some money or whatever we can do. And I said, absolutely, I'm in. I don't have the cycles to spearhead it. But if you guys want to put something together, whether it be a fundraiser or a drive for supplies, whatever it is, and it's not just going to go to Louisiana, it's going to be anybody that needs it, victims of Ida, Mark, I'm happy to help. I'm happy to publicize it. I'm happy to do my part so that we as a community can do what we do. I am so proud of what the deckheads do when people need us, and this is no different. So I'm happy to do that. Be on the lookout for that. I will have more details and information as it gets passed to me, and I'm told about it. So, yeah. I am, whether it's money or supplies or whatever it is that we end up doing and whatever it is that the folks that are doing that, I don't want to give names yet because I don't want to commit anybody to anything that they're not able to do. But once we get a little more information on it, I'll let you know and you'll be able to help as much as you can. The thing is, it's not going to be just one of those, well, let's all give $5 and then we can forget about it. This is a devastating storm and it's going to take a long and tedious recovery to get back to somewhat some normalcy for the area. So I'm not going to rush this. I think I want to do it right, and we'll see what we can do for the folks, our neighbors to the east in that part of the country. Aaron J. Bryan said, yes, sir. I have a house full and more family on the way today. Aaron, I'm glad some of your family got out. I hope everybody is safe and okay. Caravans taking refugees to Lakewood. Okay. Jeff Bell said he's late, but he was here. Yeah, you were second in chat, buddy. It's cool. Chrissy said, Jeff, you were second. Okay, cool. Yes, but show hadn't started yet. Oh, okay, gotcha. Mattress Mac stepped up big time. Folks can sleep there. As always, right? As always. So, I will say, let's see what we can do. Right? Let's see what we could do. Now, I wanted to bring some levity to this because as they prepared, some people were unable to get out. We talked about it last week as we went into the weekend, how I felt like there was a failure on the part of the mayor and the governor of the state of Louisiana for not opening the contraflow. I saw some of y'all talking about it in the Discord, and I started looking into it, and they just said they waited too long or it was too late. That's got to be a failure on their part. I don't understand that. Walt said my mom just texted me and they are still okay. Oh, thank God. I'm glad to hear that. Clarence says, as of right now, the only place that has power is the Superdome, but it's minimal, no AC. I will say this. I don't know if it was an emergency response person or a county commissioner or how it works, or a parish in Louisiana and New Orleans, but I did see somebody on the news this morning saying that they were better prepared for it than they were during Katrina, that the levees held up. They still have, obviously, they're without power, that failed. They do have flooding, that it has caused severe damage, as a hurricane will do. You're not going to be able to prevent that. It's just going to be the case. But that the levees held, there was some water that went over the levees, but that the levees did not break, which was the big catastrophe during Katrina. So I'm glad that the city of New Orleans, through all of the politics and everything else, there were some lessons learned, and they were able to do their part and get some of that fixed. So thank God, because I think this could have been a lot worse, although it's going to be bad. So we're going to do our part as a community, as deckheads, and as human beings to help our neighbors to the east. And I commit to you, I will do everything I can, short of spearheading it and running it. I just don't have the cycles to do that, but we got a lot of smart people in this community and a lot of beautiful and generous people that are going to be able to make this happen and really help. Now, this is what I love about the city of New Orleans. This is what I love about the people of Louisiana and Mississippi, Mark. What I love is no matter what, they don't forget. So here's a video of a grocery store. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to focus on this aisle. All right, let me put myself here on the screen just so I can, because they'll be like, oh, copyright infringement. And I'll have to be like, nope, it was fair use because it's a reaction video. You greedy motherfuckers, give me my $3 back. So here's a video someone recorded in a grocery store. And it says, no one wants this asshole's ruffles. How great is this? No food in the entire city. It's all, the shelves are getting cleared out. You can clearly see that almost all of the food in this grocery store is gone. But folks in New Orleans haven't forgotten AD, and no one wants this asshole's ruffles. By the way, what kind of flavor is that? No one wants this asshole's ruffles. What is that? What kind of ruffles are those? AD ruffles. Let me see what these are. Oh, that looks terrible. Oh no. That's bad. Hold on. Let me save these. 830 AD chips. Oh, this is not good, y'all. This looks disgusting. They are jalapenos. They're jalapenos and lime. Right there. Lime and jalapeno. That sounds disgusting. He said they taste like mayonnaise and hair. That looks gross. Excuse my language. That looks gross. That looks disgusting. I don't want that. I don't want lime chips. I don't want jalapeno chips. I mean, I'll dip it in like a dip made of jalapeno, but that doesn't sound good. Has anyone had these chips before? Has anyone had these chips? Yeah, somebody said pretzels are gone before these chips are. Has anyone bothered to try these? I don't know what these are. They don't look good at all. Mark said, y'all never had street tacos before. Classic combo. I'd try it. Yeah, but there's meat and there's tortilla and lettuce and usually some sort of like cream sauce. I don't know what it is. And look, okay, do we not know who I'm married to? I'm married to Northside's finest, okay? Yeah, Nora brings home jalapeno chips all the damn time. And I don't mind the spice of jalapeno. Like she makes, because I've been trying to get slim and sexy, look all pretty for TV. So, she's been helping me. So one thing we do is we'll make about 3 pounds of ground turkey meat with taco seasoning. And then I'll just have that with, a couple cups of rice at night. That'll be my one meal for the day. And what she does is she makes homemade pico to put on it. So she'll have jalapeno and tomato, onion, lime juice. So she'll mix all that up, and that's fine. I get it. And the spice is great, but I'm not, like, we talked about this weekend. She goes, you used to hate spicy food. Now you can eat stuff hotter than I'll usually eat it. And I have adjusted to it, but she craves the heat. She's like, oh man, heat makes it so good. I'm like, it don't make it good. It just doesn't bother me. Like, I don't like the flavor of jalapeno, but I don't mind eating it, if that makes sense. I just don't want to eat chips made out with jalapeno flavor. It's got like a weird soury taste to it. It's not the spice by any means. It's the flavor of jalapeno that I don't think is good, but that's just me. Do people eat Ruffles? Hell yeah, people eat Ruffles. What kind of weird ass question is that, Amos? Yeah, people eat Ruffles. Get out of here. Uriel said he's tried them. They weren't horrible. Okay. That's good. Claire said if they're anything like AD, then they'll hurt as you eat them. They will hurt as you eat them. Oh, gotcha. Okay. All right. So I thought that was super petty and hilarious all at the same time. All right, now let's talk about these Texans, can we? So, of course, you've heard the news by now that there's deals in the works between the Dolphins and the Texans working on a trade for Deshaun Watson, because that was Watson's preference, where he wanted to go. That's been the discussion for a while now. There are people that have come out, and talked about rumors of the Broncos and Philly, and you've heard Charlotte, but the asking price has run some of those teams off. And you got to remember, when you're talking about this trade and you're talking about who's going to go where and where's he going to go and who can afford it, you also have to have some sort of assets that are equal in comparison to a franchise quarterback such as Deshaun Watson. Off the field issues be damned. The Texans are asking a lot, which I have settled in my mind that before they were stupid, because they were like, well, we're not trading him. When they had the opportunity to trade him, when he said he wanted out, before all the sexual assault or sexual misconduct allegations came out, Tyler's a Dolphins fan. He said, I've been listening to all my podcasts today. I bet, dude. So before the allegations came out, Watson had already said he wanted out of Houston. And the Texans were adamant about not trading him. Well, they were stupid. Especially if they had any inkling that something like what happened with the 22 sexual misconduct allegations dropped. If they had any inkling that existed, they should have been like, you want out? Cool. Yep, give us 3 firsts, 2 seconds, and they probably would have gotten it. I don't think a lot of teams would have hesitated. But the Texans had to Texan this whole situation up. Hence the shirt. They had to mess it up. Had they done it at the time, they could have sold. When you buy low, sell high. They moved up in the draft. They got him as a draft asset. That was great. Good job. You drafted a franchise quarterback. You let Tom Savage play for a half and then decided, hey, that's our guy. And the rest is history. So they decided not to sell high when they had the opportunity, assuming they had, I don't know if they did or didn't know about what was going to happen. I assume they didn't, because that's how dumb they were to just say, no, we're not trading you. Even though he didn't want to play here anymore. This was a James Harden situation all over again. They refused to trade him. Then the allegations hit, and now it was like, anybody want to? No? No? So now things have calmed down a little bit. Now teams are like, okay, well, let's see what happens. I think the Dolphins realize we got a really good football team. I don't know that they're sold on Tua. and he wants to be there. But I think now is the wrong time for the Texans to be asking for 3 2s and 3 1s and 2 2s as far as draft picks go. They want 3 first-round picks and 2 seconds, which has driven away most of the people that are interested in making those trades. If you're the Dolphins, I mean, hell, you probably have all that you got from the Laramie Tunsil trade. The Dolphins have the draft capital to do so. Now, the interesting thing is the Texans are saying, or there are sources that are saying, the Texans are, quote, not interested in Tua Tagovailoa. I almost said it wrong. Tua Tagovailoa in a trade for Deshaun Watson. Couple of different tweets out there, a couple of different sources. Dove Kleeman, I don't know. Texans are, quote, not interested in Miami QB Tua Tagovailoa in the trade for Deshaun Watson per Armando Salguero. Watson will also accept a trade to the Panthers, although his main wish is to be traded to the Dolphins. Wonder where you heard that back in February, but nobody fucking listened. Excuse my language. Still going to be mad. That could have been my moment. I could have been the new Woj. So somebody wrote, the Texans, by the way, are so far not interested in including Dolphins' current starting quarterback Tua in a trade. Now the question becomes why? Okay, you're not interested. Is the plan that you will draft your franchise quarterback with one of these picks? Is that the plan? Because I don't know. I don't think anybody's looking like when you watch some of these rookie quarterbacks or first year quarterbacks, you really see a ton of potential in some of these guys, right? Like you watch Justin Fields, you watch Trey Lance, you watch Mac Jones, you watch these guys and you're like, whoa, these kids have talent, right? The Chargers, why am I'm blanking on his name. And then you see Daniel Jones in New York and you go, boy, if he could just get his mind right. Joe Burrow. And so you watch some of these and nobody's really looking at Tua and putting him in the same kind of class as these guys and saying, man, this guy's got a ton of talent. This could be a franchise level. They look at him and go, yeah, he might be good, but we just don't know for sure. Now, what if you're the Dolphins and the Texans don't want him? I think that's a good thing because that's your insurance, right? Talked about that a little bit this weekend, but if the Dolphins can somehow get Deshaun Watson, not trade Tua, and just give up picks and maybe, I don't know, we know Xavier Howard didn't want to be there. Boy, the Texans could sure use some help in their secondary. Cool. Send a bunch of draft picks, good to go. And then the Dolphins have insurance where if Watson is put on the exempt list or is suspended for 6, 8, 10 games a season, whatever it ends up being, you got a quarterback to fill in, a capable quarterback. But I don't think anybody's looking at Tua and saying, well, that's definitely a Super Bowl caliber. That's a franchise quarterback. I mean, some of these other young rookies that we've seen play so far, they're already comparing them. We'll get to Mac Jones in a minute, but there's already high expectations for some of these guys. So maybe the Texans feel like, you know what, we'll just do it through the draft. Because what's the point, right? I certainly don't think they think Davis Mills is the answer. That was a reach. That was who's the kid from Louisville? Dave Ragone. That's what Davis Mills reminds me of. That was a Dave Ragone draft pick. Davis Mills is not the plan, Drew. If Davis Mills is the plan, just take everything I own that says Texans and you can sell it at Goodwill for $1 and I'll donate it. Yeah, and Tyler has a good point. I mean, instead of trading Tua and instead of the Texans wanting Tua, they know that. I mean, this is all negotiating, but the Dolphins are certainly going to want these picks protected. They're certainly going to want to have some protection. Well, what if Watson misses a whole year? We just gave you all these draft picks. We're probably not going to be great. Now what? But I think that too is a tricky situation. Like, yeah, we know you're probably not going to be great if he's suspended, which helps us because it makes our first round pick better that you send us. So it's a lot of back and forth. Lot of back and forth. Yeah, Ben said, wow, I forgot about Dave Ragone. That seems like an appropriate comparison. That's who it reminds me of. It's like, oh, okay, he can throw the football a little bit. So, interesting in that regard that they don't want Tua in the trade. The Texans have said, no, we'll just take picks, and who knows what else they're talking about. Maybe some O-line help. I have no idea. Although the Dolphins are desperate for a left tackle, so wouldn't it be hilarious if they sent Laramie Tunsil back? That would be the most Texan thing ever. They sent Laramie Tunsil back and somehow get less for it. Tunsil and Watson for 2 fourths and a ninth. There's no ninth. Well, just give us what we want. Okay. All right. So that's one part of this trade. The other part is the actual head coach of the Miami Dolphins, Brian Flores, commenting. Cameron Wolf reported, he said, asked about reports regarding Deshaun Watson, Brian Flores said he had any conversations they have or don't have will remain internal as they typically do. On a follow-up question about their belief in Tua Tagovailoa, Flores said, I am very confident in Tua. He's played well. So it wasn't a denial. It was, we're not going to talk about what we're talking about. Okay. If you're talking about it, let's be real. If you're not going to tell us, there's a denial. There's absolutely not. We haven't had any discussions with the Texans. We're not interested in Deshaun Watson. There's that. You could certainly come out and say that. And no one would, I mean, they may be like, whoa. So all these rumors are false. Okay. But he didn't do that, which leads you to believe in this case, not answering is a yes. Because you can come out and definitively say, we're not pursuing Deshaun Watson. We don't want Deshaun Watson. Tua Tagovailoa is our guy, and we're rocking with him. Let's go. Fins up, or whatever the hell they say in Miami. Is that what y'all do, Tyler, when you cheer for the Dolphins? Do you just all make dolphin noises in the stadium? Wouldn't that be great? Just 60,000 adults when they score. God, that would be the best. Tyler, if y'all aren't doing that, please get to Miami ASAP and start that chant. Just start making dolphin noises. Holy shit. God, that's so good. Oh, so it is fins up? That's so stupid. Do y'all do like, yeah, go Dolphins. Y'all make fins? That would be the most Miami thing to do. But I think you could come out and say, no, Tua's our guy. Or you can say, well, you know, we're gonna keep that internal. But Tua's played great. I believe in Tua. I'm sure you believe in him. That doesn't mean you wouldn't want to upgrade him, though. Right? So that's the other interesting thing. Now, there's one more interesting thing I wanted to play for you in regards to this, and that is Drew Rosenhaus. Super agent Drew Rosenhaus. Not, by the way, Deshaun Watson's agent. But still had things to say in regards to the situation with Deshaun Watson, and in fact was saying he will be the week 1 starter for the Miami Dolphins. Take a listen.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Deshaun Watson with the Miami Dolphins for the first game of the regular season. The Dolphins are absolutely working on this deal with the Texans. There's obviously holdups with compensation. They want 3 first-round picks plus. That's not going to happen while he has an uncertain legal future. The Dolphins have to make sure that they have contingencies in the event that these legal issues become a serious problem. But I do think there's a legitimate possibility that the Dolphins will acquire one of the best players in the NFL in Deshaun Watson. And if he can clear those legal hurdles, man, the Dolphins have a franchise quarterback for the first time since Dan Marino.
Now, I know it was a little bit difficult. I'm going to try this again with the audio. Let's run it back from the beginning, just the start of it. Take a listen again.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Deshaun Watson with the Miami Dolphins for the first game of the regular season.
What?
The Dolphins are absolutely working on this deal with the Texans. There's obviously holdups with compensation. They want 3 first-round picks plus.
There you go. You've got a guy in Drew Rosenhaus, pretty well connected. Okay? You can say what you want about dude's a dirtbag and all that. Wouldn't disagree with you at all. But the fact is, I'm sure he has sources and people and folks on the inside and every team in sports, not just football. So, pretty interesting that a guy like Drew Rosenhaus would come out on a podcast or whatever it was. I guess I should give credit where credit is due. It was on Twitter that I got the link. It was Josh Moser on Twitter. Drew Rosenhaus tells me that he would not be surprised to see Deshaun Watson with the Dolphins for the first game of the regular season. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Ben said he always looks like he's reading from a script. He's so calculated. That's why he's one of the best agents in the business. You got to be dirty, scummy, a trickster, calculated, really, really smart, and a great negotiator. And he's all those things, I think. That's why he gets the money that he gets. Celio said, I feel like once he's traded, he will go right into the exempt list. It's very possible. I think he'll go on the exempt list in week 1. I think that's very possible. I'm surprised we haven't heard more from the NFL about the investigation, by the way. That's also something that I find to be interesting. But they're keeping a tight lid on it, so we'll find out. All right, let's talk a little bit about Mac Jones, can we? What time is it? Holy shit, it's already 3:10. We got to get to a break. I got to get you guys your weather while I go pee-pee. And then when we come back, I want to talk about Mac Jones. He's been compared to Tom Brady. Stop it! Stop it, ESPN. Stop this madness right now. All of you. All of you guys. I want to talk Mac Jones. I want to talk about the Mets and their thumbs down. I need to vent one more time about Rand Paul fighting Tyron Woodley. That was not Rand Paul. And we could talk golf. Yeah, I watched the playoff. Yeah, we could talk about that as well. And I got some non-sports for you we can cover. I got a plethora of non-sports stuff that we can go over. We'll get to it at some point. Until then, though, let's get to a break. Daddy's going to go pee. If you need to pee or poop or whatever it is you do during the break, you go do that. We're going to take less than 5 minutes. We're going to come right back here. We're going to pick up where we left off, talk some Mac Jones, talk some NFL, and get y'all guys ready for the regular season starting in a couple weeks. Don't go anywhere. I'm Barry Laminack. This is Barry on Deck. Stick around. I'll see you in a second.
Hey everyone, Steven Usick, aka Steven the Weather Guy here with your BiffNet forecast update. Hurricane Ida made landfall yesterday as a strong Category 4 hurricane in southeast Louisiana. It was only about 5 miles an hour away from a Category 5, so it's going to be quite a devastating storm. Later this week, we're going to see all that it wrought on the area. Hopefully people got out, hopefully people made the right decisions, but it's going to be a long recovery process for them. As for us, we're going to be hot. Today we're going to start off around 97 degrees, low chance of rain 10%. Tuesday and Wednesday about up to 99 degrees. Chances of rain about 20%. Thursday, rain chances come up to about 30%. Temperatures come down to about 94, 95 degrees. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, same story. About 20% chance of rain. Temperatures around 94, 95. After that, we're going to be watching the Gulf again. Too early to say what's going to go on down there, but there's been some hints in the models that there could be another system down there in the southern Gulf of Mexico. We're going to have to watch and wait and see what happens. If anything happens, it would kind of be around the Labor Day period. But again, too early to know. No signs of another Ida. So nothing to worry about. Just keep an eye on. We have about another month left in our hurricane season in the Houston area. Around October, fronts start coming through and really shut the door on our hurricane season. So we're going to keep watching. Stay cool this week and stick around after the break or go fuck yourself.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of Barry on Deck. I'm your host, Barry Laminack. Thank you guys for sticking around through the break. Those of you that did, those of you that didn't, well, you heard Uzi. Good job, Uzi. Good job, Uzi. He said, did the weatherman just tell me to go? Yeah, that's how we roll on here. That's what we do, peoples. That's what we do. Good job, Lil Uzi. Well done, my friend. Steven Usyk brings you the weather each and every week right here on Barry on Deck. Yeah, we're fancy. We got weather. If I gave a shit, we'd do traffic, but I don't give a shit. Weather, traffic, news. Okay, I don't know. I'm getting a little outside of myself. I do want to talk about my guy, my boy. Okay, I don't know him at all. I'm just a little. First of all, Cam's not gonna have this job for long if he has it. I really don't think Belichick is gonna go with Cam to start the season. The reason I say that, you're looking at Mac Jones, by the way, on your screen. The reason I say that is, if you had listened to Belichick before, he talked about Cam's our guy. We're going to go with Cam. Cam's our guy. And then as the preseason progressed and he watched Cam and Mac Jones, and you watch some of the things that Mac Jones does, and you watch ESPN or some of these other, you watch some of the games, and you watch them break him down, and the throws that he makes and the stuff that he does. In fact, it was Dan Orlovsky this morning was talking about Mac Jones. And he was comparing him to Tony Romo in the sense that he said, I saw Tony Romo. There was a time in practice when I forget who the DB was, but Tony Romo, they were just practicing. And he threw a ball and the DB said, I thought I was going to intercept it, but I was unable to. And he talked about how did you throw that so that I didn't intercept it? And Tony Romo said, because I don't throw the ball to the receiver, I throw the ball away from you as a defender. And he said, that's the key. Well, Dan Orlovsky was telling this story, and he said, hey, by the way, watch Mac Jones. These are already, as a rookie, having never played a regular season NFL game, these are the kinds of throws that this cat is making. He's moving receivers around the field with the way he throws the ball. He's steady in the pocket. He's making the right reads. He's doing all the right things. And that's great. Yay! Good job, Mac Jones. But can we stop comparing him to Tom Brady already? If I hear one more person tell me that Mac Jones is the next Tom Brady, are you shitting me? Can we give the kid 8 games of regular season play? Can we give him a year or 2 or 4? Do you remember how bad Josh Allen in Buffalo was when he first started? I mean, there are guys who come out like Deshaun Watson, and in their first year, their first couple of games, you're like, oh wow. But even then, right, you could see that Watson was better than Tom Savage in preseason, but you didn't know for sure until he saw live action, game situations, leadership abilities, all of those things you had to find out over the course of several games. Now, could he make spectacular plays? Sure. But Tom Brady was more than just some good throws here and there. So that's the thing. We got to give Mac Jones some time. We got to give all these kids some time. Mac Jones and Trey Lance and Justin Fields. And I'm going to tell you right now, in all three of these situations, the one that might be the closest up for grabs to me and should be the closest up for grabs is out in San Francisco. If I'm Bill Belichick, you got a choice between Cam and everybody just absolutely drooling over Mac Jones. And if you just watch it and see what they talk about, and a lot of it makes sense. I mean, we know what Cam is at this point. And the same can be said for Andy Dalton. We've seen that movie. Man, look at all the ladies showing up. What's up, Katie? What's up, Jen? What's up, Sid? Hello, Sid. I mean, we've seen these movies with these guys, these retread quarterbacks. We know what Cam is. We know what Andy is. We know what Garoppolo is. Are any of those three, do any of those three strike you as Super Bowl contending quarterbacks? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, the closest of the three is probably Garoppolo in San Francisco. Andy Dalton is not leading the Bears to a Super Bowl. Sorry, Mark G. Sorry, Bears fans. If the Bears really want to build their organization for a future run and a chip, you put in Fields now, you let him get acclimated in the NFL, OJT, and strive for greatness. And the same is true in New England. That's Buffalo's division, or Miami's. Now, I'm not suggesting that New England can't make a playoff game as a wild card. But they've fallen a notch or two behind Buffalo and Miami, and they're probably not far off. If it's a Belichick defense, it's going to keep them in it. And maybe Mac Jones is the second coming of Tom Brady, but we don't know that until we see him play. And you're not going to see him play until you sit Cam and you run him out there. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think Fields makes a lot of sense. Now, the only place where I could see where maybe you give it a little bit of time is Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo out in San Francisco. But if you've watched some of their games, if you've watched some of the highlights, if you've watched some of the performances between the two, it's pretty close. To me, Chicago isn't close. To me, New England hasn't been close, save for maybe the first week of the season. But I think it's a no-brainer in those two. San Francisco's a little more difficult, but I think Garoppolo still has something in him. I don't think he's, you don't look at him and go, oh, that's definitely, a top-tier quarterback. Injuries have been a big problem, and maybe that's what they wait on. You know what? We're going to run Garoppolo out there. He's probably going to get hurt within 3 or 4 weeks, and then this will become Trey Lance's team. A safe way to do it, Get Wally pipped. Mark G said by week 5, Justin Fields will be the starter, if not earlier. Okay. Andy is only starting so the O-line can get itself together so Fields doesn't get blown up. That's kind of a dumb strategy. That's a stupid strategy. If that's the Bears' strategy, if that's Matt Nagy's strategy, that is dumb. Like really dumb. Do you want to know why it's dumb? You got a sus O-line. You're gonna potentially ruin a guy's career by putting him behind there so you can save another guy's career. What message does that send to your locker room and to your O-line? Hey guys, we know you're shit, and we know this is not going to give us a good chance to actually win games. So we're going to run the red rifle out there to be the scapegoat and the sacrifice to the NFL until we can get our shit together, either via trade or coaching or whatever. And if that doesn't happen, well, then we'll just leave him out there to slowly die a la David Carr. Instead, though, you've got Fields, a guy that can run, that can get out of the pocket. He's got escapability. He's an athlete. He can make some plays with his feet as much as he can make some plays with his arm. If you've got a sus O-line and you really want to win games, put a guy out there that when the pocket collapses, as it probably will be a lot, can make some plays with his feet. Because if I'm that defense or I'm those receivers or the running back or anybody else in that team, I'm looking and going, Are we trying to win, or are we just trying to not get Justin Fields murdered in the first couple of weeks? It makes no sense. I don't know. Amos said if Jimmy has anything left, he's definitely an injury. It's definitely an injury. Yeah. Trey Lance has looked really good too, man. But I think in Chicago and in New England, it's not like you're saying, hey, they could make a run. They could seriously be contenders. Like legitimate Super Bowl contenders. I think San Francisco could make that case. If they get good quarterback play, kind of like Denver or Miami or some of these other teams where you're like, just depends on what happens at that position will probably determine how good or bad these teams will be. I don't know. That's a little tougher decision to make. But the other two kind of seem like no-brainers to me. Just me. Mark said, Nagy is an idiot. So, well, if that's the plan, then yeah, confirmed. Check the box. He is a moron. All right, let me close some of this stuff because I'll accidentally click on things I don't need to be clicking on. Chips, Drew, headlines, Casario, Watson, Mac Jones. What do we want to talk about? Do we want to do sports? Do we want to do non-sports? Let me see here. All right, it's 3:24. Let's talk a little baseball. I'm going to get to the Tyron Woodley RuPaul fight in just a second. But I want to talk about this first because I found this to be interesting, and for once, I think I might surprise you guys with my take on this. I feel like some of my takes are pretty predictable. But if you didn't hear about this, the Mets have a new sign when they celebrate. They hit a double, they hit a home run, they do something good. The team now does the double thumbs down. Boo! Right? Kind of like Uncle Mike and Springer used to change the tire and whatever else there is. I don't know. I think the Yankees do this anytime they do something good. I think that's what happens. I think like when Judge hits a home run, he goes, I don't know. Don't quote me on that. It could be. I don't know. I think I've seen that. Or maybe he's just blowing other Yankees. I don't know. Anyways. So that's the Mets celebration. And they asked Javy Báez, a new Met, by the way, hasn't been in New York very long already, but he had a beautiful slide. If you don't follow MLB on TikTok, my girds. He had one of the sweetest, better than, was it Trevor Story? Who had that beautiful slide? I'm trying to find this slide on the old talks. I think I saved it. How do you get to your saved talks? Nope. Didn't save it. God dang son of a gun. It's on MLBs. I'll find you this talk. Look at this. Look at this beautiful slide. Watch this. Watch this. I know this isn't the best video. We're going to let this adjust for a second. But tell me this isn't pretty. Come on. There you go. All right. Now watch it again. Now watch again. Watch again. Look at this slide. Look at this slide. Look at that. Whee! Looks like he's on a slip and slide. Oops. Avoided the tag. So that's Javy Báez is a New York Met. Okay? He is the slide master. Anyways, they've been celebrating doing the thumbs down, and media asked him, what does that mean? And Javy Báez basically said, well, we're booing the fans. What? Yeah, the fans have been booing us, so it's our way of booing the fans. If you're not going to cheer, you don't just cheer for us when we do good. Support us when we're not doing good. Like we win we win together, we lose together. And he said, I love the fans and I like their support, but yeah, this is just kind of a way of getting back at the fans for booing at us. In fact, let me find, because there's several different things that were said about this, and I want to read them all to you. Get off the table! These cats, you guys. So Nora and I've been redoing my patio. I think if you follow me on Instagram or Twitter, you probably saw it, but these pictures are so yellow. I need to adjust this is what my patio looked like. I should probably adjust these better, but this was my patio ceiling. Look at all the mold up there. My dumbass builder, when we built this house, decided to put sheetrock in the ceiling like a dumb fuck. So of course it molds after a few years, because that's what sheetrock does when it's outside and there's the potential of it getting wet, or there's rain and moisture outside and humidity. That's what it does. So I, this weekend, went and got some stuff called Cesner or some shit. I don't know. It basically, when you put it on, it kills mold. And it also acts as a primer. And then I got some new paint, and I painted the whole porch there. And you can see it kind of wraps around over to the side and all that. Well, we also bought new tables to go out there so we can eat and I can smoke cigars and watch TV. Nora put together the table while I was gone yesterday at my dad's for his birthday. And now the cats decide that they're going to sit on that table. They know goddamn well they're not allowed on the counters. Okay. What was I talking about? Javy Báez. Okay, so the booing thing, right? The Mets say that they're doing the booing thing. Their GM and their owner have come out and said, nope. Nope. Not going to have this. We don't like it. Owner Steve Cohen has said, we're going to fix this. This is not a thing. This is not acceptable. It's not okay. The president of the New York Mets, Sandy Alderson, Mets fans are this is his quote. He said, Mets fans are understandably frustrated over the team's recent performance. The players and the organization are equally frustrated, but fans at Citi Field have every right to express their own disappointment. Booing is every fan's right. The Mets will not tolerate any player gesture that is unprofessional in its meaning or is directed in a negative way toward our fans. I will be meeting with our players and staff to convey this message directly. Here's the thing. Who cares? Yeah, you're right. The fans have every right to boo. Sure they do. The players also don't just have to be, this doesn't have to be a one-sided thing here. And I understand, look, I get it, okay? When you sign up to be a ball player and make millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars or whatever it is that you're making, when you sign up for that, you open yourself up to that criticism. You open yourself up to getting booed and ridiculed, and they talk about your inability is at the plate or on the mound or whatever it is. And that's a fan's right to do that. Sure, you pay for your ticket, you can boo. I'm not telling you don't boo. You absolutely can boo. But as a player, I think you have the right to respond. I think you have the right to be like, hey, I get it. Boo us when we're going bad, but also don't be offended if we're like, hey, remember us when we were good? Remember that? Remember this? And I think that's okay. I don't have a problem with this. I think Javy Báez probably shouldn't have said anything. Just kept it internal. But he don't give a shit. Javy Báez doesn't care. Javy Báez does not care. Andy said, I've given thumbs down to several audiences. Yeah, you know, it's kind of like when you guys say mean shit in the chat, or I get a mean Facebook comment or a mean TikTok comment where, boy, they are really mean on TikTok. My favorite one is everybody, when I post a TikTok video from Houston Sports Show, my Barry on Sports, a joke about a team or a whatever, everybody's thing is, who is this guy? I've never heard of this guy. And every time I want to say, ask your mom, but I don't, because that would be my version of, one person had the nicest thing to say. He goes, hey, one day when you're famous, when this all goes viral, I want you to remember that I was one of your first 600 followers. I was like, oh, you are so sweet. But everybody else, one guy said, who shoved this bowl of oatmeal into a cheap blazer? This is really good. I was like, I ain't even mad at this. This is funny. But most of them are so petty. One guy was like, Who the fuck is this guy? Okay. It's fine. Just have your fun. Have your fun. But don't be on here when I'm hurting somebody else's feelings piling on. Okay? If you can't take a joke, you can't take a joke. But I think I respond sometimes. I'll be like, oh wow, imagine that Cowboys fan can't take a joke. No offense to you, CC or others. Yeah, look, some of them are funny as shit, and I gave that guy props. He was like, who shoved this bowl of oatmeal in a cheap blazer? And I really wanted to respond, this is a Calvin Klein blazer. It wasn't cheap, okay? I didn't buy this, at Walmart. I mean, it's not the most expensive brand ever, but it wasn't cheap by any stretch. And it's tailored. It's tailored. I had it fitted. It's not just like I bought it off the rack like some of these losers. They still got the little tag right there. I know what I'm doing. I know how to dress. I can't help it if I'm fat, but I mean, a bowl of oatmeal was way more accurate than cheap blazer. That made me more mad than bowl of oatmeal. And so I ain't even mad at this. He goes, my bad, man. That's just my Red Sox anger coming out. See, and that's the funny thing is people will take shots, and if I respond, they're like, oh, I was just playing. You're funny. It's like, why you got to be like that? But as far as the players go, they have the right to respond. They have the right to, thank you, CC. CC said, carry on. I wasn't, it wasn't a knock. It wasn't a shot at the Cowboys. Because there's Eagles fans, they're all sensitive. Sports fans in general are sensitive. I've learned that with my TikTok. If you make fun of a sports team, it's going to hurt everybody's feelings. And they're going to say mean, hateful shit to you because you made a joke. But I think players should be able to respond. I think players should be able to boo the fans. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. Are we that soft that the players can't do this because the fans treat them like shit for 3/4 of the season? Come on. Grow up. Yeah, the fans have a right to boo. No one said they didn't. The players have a right to boo them back. And anything else is stupid. I didn't realize Javy Báez was slashing 210, 258, 452 in 17 games as a Met. That ain't good. But what his quote was, it's just that the boos that we get. That was his quote. He said, it's just the boos that we get. We're not machines. We're going to struggle. We're going to struggle 7 times out of 10. It just feels bad. When I strike out and I get booed, it doesn't really get to me. But I want to let them know that when we have success, we're going to do the same thing to let them know how it feels. Because if we win together, we got to lose together. The fans are a really big part of it. In my case, they've got to be better. I play for the fans. I love the fans. But if they're going to do that, they're just putting more pressure on the team itself. Hold on one second. My cat is on this table and I'm not having it. Get off the table. That's enough. Sometimes you got to discipline your kids in front of company. Stay off of it. He's going right back to it. This little son of a bitch. He's going to get right back up there. Oliver is laying on the boxes that are the chairs that haven't been put together yet. Spencer wants to get his happy ass up on the actual table. Sons of bitches. Yeah. As soon as Barry walks away, they go back. The cats are, there's one thing I will not tolerate from these cats in this house. PK said, let those cats live. No. Here's why. Because if he thinks he can get on the table, he thinks he can get on all the tables. And look, it's just let's see if I can get this over here. It's just, hold on. Yeah, there we go. Cut to, oh, that's crooked. So you see that? It's just, you can barely see Oliver there laying on the boxes and Spencer's walking around on the boxes. But you see that table? That's what Nora put together while I was gone. That's going to go on our back patio. But Oliver thinks he can get on that. He was just up there just a minute ago Spencer was up there torturing Oliver while Oliver's trying to sleep, as he's prone to do. But if he thinks he can get on that table, he thinks he can get on the kitchen table, on the dining room table. Let me tell you something. I love cats. I don't like cats getting on my tables. And on the counter. Oh, hell no. I'm not, bro, they walk in litter boxes. No, we're not getting them piss paws up on my counter and my table where I eat. Look at this, some bitch. Look at this. Look, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Look, see how now he's getting his own tail. He's a moron. Spencer's not the sharpest cat ever, okay? Oliver's like, ooh, you gonna get in trouble. See? No cats on the counter. No cats on the table. Don't like it. Let's see what happens. Hey, get down! Get off the table! Get down! All right, obviously, my words mean nothing to him. But I bet when I get my ass up. Let's see if you guys can see this. No. It's not going to work. Let's see. Can y'all see that now? No. Damn it. I'm trying to get it to where you guys can see when I go out there. It's not going to work. Let's see. Oh, maybe this will work. Okay, look at this motherfucker. What are you doing? Watch. As soon as I walk out there. He's going to get out. See? Little bastard saw me coming. Little badass cat. I don't need this shit in my life. I can't do the tables and the damn can't do the tables and the counter. Can't do it. And I don't have a squirt bottle, but listen. Cats will catch an ass whooping. Okay? They ain't above catching an ass whooping. Not a hard one. Just a little, get out of here. Yeah, I did see where somebody said don't scream because they're just scared of you. Well, I mean, if that's what it takes. My daughter says don't yell at the cat. That's what I'm saying, yeah. They say don't yell at your cat because then it just gets scared of you. Okay. It's whatever. I'm going to yell at Oliver. He don't give a shit. He ain't scared of me at all. But they can catch a little ass whooping too. Jerk. I messed up my whole thing trying to put y'all on cat cam. I probably should set up something like a cat cam. That'd be pretty interesting. All right, so the Mets have issues. Javy Báez, I don't blame for what he said. No big deal. In the grand scheme of things, it's not a big deal. All right, one more thing I want to talk about before we get out of here. I just saw Mike Jackson's tweet, which reminded me of it. But we need to talk about this fight. Jake Paul. Where's he at? Nothing. He wasn't. Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley. Jake Paul wins a split decision over Tyron Woodley, MMA fighter. Now, Jake Paul came out, says this legitimizes him. He's also out there thumping his chest about how everybody on the card got their biggest payday ever because he took less money. And while that may be true, and I saw an article trying to paint him as the unsung hero that nobody knew there was, that's trying to save combat sports and to pay. He called out Dana White. Celio said this was such a boring fight. Tyron had so many chances to finish him. Here's the thing, though, CC and Celio. Wrestlers by nature make for boring fighters. That's in MMA, they're boring. Now take away their ability to do anything but throw fists, and yeah, it's going to be boring. It's also going to be really safe for a guy like Rand Paul, RuPaul, Logan Paul, Paul Wall, whatever the fuck his name is. It's going to be really safe for him to build this career. It's a house of cards is what his career is. Because the one thing he won't do is fight a legitimate boxer. He's going to take some weird amalgamation of a guy that can throw fists from MMA, or whatever, what was the Nate Robinson, a 3-foot basketball player? Cool. You beat up Gary Coleman. Good job. You outweighed him by 200 pounds. Right? That's just, and everyone wants to legitimize the fact that, well, Tyron Woodley was a UFC champion. As a wrestler, where there's wrestling and takedowns and kicks and jiu-jitsu and submissions and all of those things involved, he was never known as a great puncher. Strong like bull, but not a great boxer, not a great puncher. And that's the rub here, folks, is we're buying into this bullshit. But the fact of the matter is, whether he's tough or not, yeah, he took a good punch by Woodley, did Jake Paul, and withstood it, stayed on his feet. Good for him. He's got a tough chin. So do a million other yahoos and yokels in bars all around this country. It doesn't make them legitimate boxers, and it doesn't make him a legitimate boxer. If you really knew, and I say this every time these jokers fight, but if you really knew the fight game, if you really knew boxing and you watch their technique, it is awful. And this is why they're able to get split decision wins over guys who have equally bad boxing. And I didn't watch the fight, and I didn't pay for the fight because I refused to give these dudes my money. Now, I might have stole it. I'll just tell you straight up. But I didn't even want to waste my time doing that. I had no desire to watch this because I knew I've seen this movie. What frustrates me is that people are slowly buying into this. If you're just renting this or watching it for the exhibition that it is, and you're like, look at Jake Paul, this little Vine/YouTuber out here, doing so cool. That's fine. It's a show, right? If you watch it like you're watching wrestling, cool. But if you think this is legitimate boxing, I got news for you. Go watch real boxers. Hell, just go watch some basics of boxing on YouTube to understand about footwork and defense and hand placement and where punches are supposed to come from. And then you'll be able to also see that Jake Paul is not a good boxer. Tough guy? Yeah. We'll call him tough. He took some shots. Cool. But he's also very calculated in who he's fighting. He knows that Ben Askren, a wrestler, Tyron Woodley, a wrestler, Nate Robinson, a little person, and whoever the hell he fought on the first fight, they're no threat to him. They're no threat to most people. Now, the one thing I will say is that a lot of boxers' careers are made and chances are given because they fight tomato cans to get to 30-0. And then they get a shot at real legitimate boxers on real cards. When they just kind of go around fighting journeymen at undercards and regional promotions, and they get better. It's like that's how they hone their craft. It's like doing open mics and bar gigs as a comic. It's like you do an open mic, you do some bar gigs, you kind of work your way into getting on real comedy shows, and then you work your way up from there. So I'm okay with him not fighting legitimate boxers as he starts his career. He's only had 4 fights. They've all been exhibition. They've not been against real boxers, other professional boxers. They've been shows. They've been entertainment. And as long as we all keep the perspective on what this is, I'm fine with that. But it's infuriating that there are people trying to sell us a bill of goods that this dude is a legitimate boxer. He is not. Nor is his brother, who survived against Floyd Mayweather. They're not fighting anybody that's their age that's legit. Are they tough? Can they take a punch? Yeah. Are they good, legitimate boxers? No. But ESPN Ringside put out a tweet that said, Jake Paul works quick. Paul has spent a total of 8 minutes and 52 seconds in the ring during his pro boxing career. To which Mike Jackson tweeted out and said, y'all are really gassing this cat up. And I said, it's disgusting. It's disgusting that they're trying to legitimize this guy instead of just accepting it for what it is. This would be the equivalent of The Rock saying he could out wrestle Let's go with Daniel Cormier. And then they meet in the WWE wrestling ring. And it's all scripted and The Rock wins. Because, protect the brand and all that. And they're like, see, I told you The Rock was a better wrestler than Daniel Cormier. That's not how it works. And this is also why these bouts aren't sanctioned. So do I trust the 3 judges at ringside? No, I don't. Some people think Woodley won that fight to begin with. A split decision means one judge had it for one guy, the other judge had it for the other guy, and the third judge, the tiebreaker, ultimately picked the winner. So Tyron Woodley won on one judge's scorecard. So a split decision isn't like, oh, I ran through this guy either. The fact is, until he starts fighting legitimate boxers on legitimate boxing cards, and I don't care if he's not on the undercard. I'm not suggesting that. I understand he's a draw. I'm not knocking that. Good hustle, buddy. Good hustle. You make millions of dollars selling people a bill of goods, lying about your capabilities in the ring. But people that know boxing, go look at their comments about his skills and abilities. It doesn't exist. So as long as we keep it in perspective, I have no problem with it. But stop trying to sell most people that don't know shit about boxing on the fact that this is legitimate boxing. It is not. It absolutely is not. Now, CC said something. The undercard was good. That the female fight on the undercard, yeah, I heard that was legitimately a good fight. So, yeah. I don't think he ever said he was good. Yeah, he did. They both did. They've both been going around pounding their chest about how badass they are for beating up fighters. They both have. It's just, it's not the same thing. It's just not the same thing. It's like me doing a cartwheel and saying that I'm a better gymnast than Simone Biles. It's ridiculous. I think part of the problem that I have with it, if there are so many people that really don't know about the sport, that they're just blind followers of his, and there are marginal boxing fans or combat sports fans. So they watch and they just believe whatever they're fed. Like, I'm watching ESPN and this one guy was like, is it time to take Jake Paul seriously as a boxer? I think so. He just beat Tyron Woodley. I told you when they made the fight, he was going to beat Tyron Woodley. They're not going to let this guy lose. First of all. Second of all, they're not going to let him pick a fight that is a seriously losable fight. They got a wrestler. By the way, here's something, and I wish I could break this down for you. I cannot. I will definitely get a copyright strike. They'll probably take down my channel. But I wish I could find the video and show you, because as I'm just watching the highlights on ESPN, I'm going, yep, right there. Yep, right there. There was a part, even in this fight, where Jake Paul has his back against the ropes. Tyron Woodley comes in. They're clinched up. And Woodley is taking the top of his head and pushing it into Jake Paul's face. That's straight up MMA. That is straight up mixed martial arts. And that's a lot of wrestlers in the clinch trying to get positions. I'm surprised they didn't whizzer him and throw him to the ground. But old habits die hard. He is an MMA fighter, Tyron Woodley is, not a boxer. There are ways in the clinch that you can see the differences. Boxing clinches are a lot different than MMA clinches. And for as long as Tyron Woodley fought MMA, if you go in and try to get 2 underhooks and a whizzer, you're probably going to get your ribs beat in because you're not doing it right. That's not how boxing clinches work. You tie up their arms. You don't get your ribs. I mean, it's completely different. And you notice these things when you watch these fights. And this is why they choose those fights, because it gives them distinct advantages in those particular situations. Even in the way that you punch, stances are different in MMA boxing versus regular boxing. It's all different. It is night and day. Yep, Alex just said stance 2. Jinx, buddy. 1, 2, 3. I did not. Jared says, speaking of cartwheels, did you see that guy do a cartwheel behind Jim Cantor yesterday? I did not. But before we get out of here, and we're about to go in a couple of minutes, I do want to mention that this was fun to watch. If you missed, oh shit, I closed the wrong slide. Let me see if I can grab it real quick. Damn it. Damn it. Why am I muted? Why was I muted this whole time? That was stupid. I did. Thank you to the low volume. At least the low volume thing caught it. I don't know what happened there. That was weird. Nonetheless, Patrick Cantley tops Bryson DeChambeau 6-hole playoff at the BMW Championship. I did watch the playoff. I didn't watch the whole BMW Championship. I'm not watching 4 days of golf. I got shit to do. But I did watch the playoff rounds. Or the playoff holes. It's fun. That's the kind of shit golf needs. Everybody was like, this is amazing. Back and forth. Back and forth. DeChambeau and Cantley. Was it Cantley that hit the pin? Or no, maybe it was DeChambeau. Hits the top of the pin. And everyone's oohing it on. And I think it was Cantley that dropped it inside of that shot. Or maybe it was backwards. I don't remember. I was going to have sleepy. Fun playoff, though. Fun playoff. Golf needs that. Golf needed that. And to be honest with you, I had no idea who Patrick Cantley was until yesterday. Then I learned he's ranked, 1 now in the FedEx Cup? I didn't even know who the hell he was. I don't keep up with pro golf now. So good for them. They needed that. It was fun. Nora and my sister-in-law Nancy were watching it. That's how good it was. So good for golf. All right. Time to bounce. Hey, do me a favor real quick before we get out of here. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I'm trying to get to 4,000 as it keeps telling you in the chat. I'd like to get to 4,000 before the end of the year. So if you like what you're watching, if you like the show, if you're a fan of mine or a fan of just good sports talk in the city of Houston or the country, hit subscribe. Come back. We do this every day from 2 to 4 p.m. I'm here. We talk sports. We have some fun. We go to Cat Cam. He's not on there. Okay. We have a good time. So thanks for hanging out with me. Appreciate you guys. As always, Barry on Deck brought to you by the AP Law Group. If you've been injured in an accident, give them a call, 713-913-GO-AP. Yeah, hit the thumbs up on the show, too. Would appreciate that. Damn it, I forgot to do my Dan's read. We'll get that tomorrow. Maybe I'll double up on Dan's reads tomorrow. Prayers up for Louisiana. Absolutely, Perry. I'll let you know what the deckheads decide. We're going to do something good, though, as we always do. Love this community. Love you people. Y'all are amazing. All right, time to bounce. Tomorrow, 2 fancy guys. Christopher Hart will be in the house. Look forward to that. Going to go get some mugs in the mail. Put some chairs together. Maybe smoke a cigar. Joel, thanks for hanging out, buddy. Appreciate you and everybody else that was here. Love you, CC. Okay, bye. Regardless, it doesn't cost you a penny to subscribe. That's right, Billy. I appreciate you, buddy. Billy, by the way, I think you are one of the ones I don't have an address for. Hit me up on Patreon. Send me your address so I can get you coffee cup in the mail if you're on Patreon. I think that was what I saw. All right. Gotta go. I love you all. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting the show. Thanks for supporting me. Thanks for making this all possible. Until tomorrow. Bitey bottle. Love you, buddy. Frank. Peace, bud. Donna, Katie, Justin. Until tomorrow, do me 3 favors. Be safe. be kind, and most importantly, love each other. See y'all tomorrow. And he's making a YouTube video.